I hope you're having an amazing day so far. Thank you guys so much for tuning in one more time to watch this live stream. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We got 2 more days before the end of the week, so y'all gotta already start enjoying it. So, you guys see the title, it speaks for itself. All right, today I wanted to come and fill you guys in on certain things that maybe answer some of the questions that I have been receiving through emails and phone calls and stuff. All right, so I figured that I will talk about this so I can give you guys an idea of what you're going to be looking at when you are, thinking about starting a farm in Congo, Kinshasa. Okay, so this is strictly for someone who's interested in starting a farm in Africa, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So if that sounds like something you are interested in seeing, I advise you stick around and please hit the like button and let me know where you're tuning in from, and I will really appreciate it. So I'll give it a couple of more minutes and see, we don't want people to tune in. So you guys know that I got a few videos that I'm still working on that are expected to be released, but due to my work schedule, it's been very difficult for me to deliver on the promises. But they're still there. I'm a few clips away from putting all the videos together and sharing out with you guys, so just bear with me. Yesterday was one of those days where I had originally planned, because I was expected to get off a little early and then come home and work on the editing the videos and publishing them. But unfortunately, at the very last minute, as I am, heading towards headquarters to report of, another coworker had this a stolen vehicle traffic stop, which ended up being a felony vehicle. So I couldn't just leave him by himself, so I had to back him on the score. He ended up taking at least 2 hours away from my time that I was scheduled to report of. So which was good, because I ended up getting 2 hours extra unexpectedly. But it's one of those issues, one of those things where you can't just leave him on a call like that by himself. So you just, that's how we look out for each other. All right. So that's kind of like what happened yesterday. But I'm still going to find the time before the end of this week to finish this video, so you guys can see what they have done with the house that I'm building on the farm. All right, guys. So please do me a favor, bear with me and keep those alerts turned on, because those videos may be dropping at any time. All right. So do me a favor, hit the like button and let me know where you're tuning in from, and I will really appreciate it. With the YouTube algorithm, with a 0 like status, it's probably, what I'm saying, like, hook me up, hook a brother while, hit the like button, let me know where you're tuning in from, and I will really appreciate it. Let me tell you something. People that I admire and I tune into their channel to watch their content, if I already like their content, the very first thing I do as soon as I tune in is to hit the like button, whether I know they're going to be talking about something rather good. Okay. So, and I highly recommend you do the same thing. And that lets me know that the people that are tuning into my channel care about this channel and they care about what I'm doing. And that's the kind of supports that I am requesting from you guys. Hitting the like button doesn't cost you any money, doesn't cost you anything. It helps me get exposed to further audience out there. If you guys want to see this channel grow, you want to see this platform move forward, yeah, look out for me. Do me a favor, hit the like button. And I will really appreciate it. And that's one way we support each other. I talked about this before. Why can't us Africans or black people in general support each other? Whether somebody's doing something good, something that you like, something you think you're getting value from, just supporting it. I'm not asking for your financial support. I make my own money. I'm saying I make my own money, and I think what I make is decent enough not to need help from anybody else. That's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing in Congo single-handedly. I've been able to build my pig-born farm without opening a Patreon account, without putting a link to donate somewhere so I can finish my projects. I do it all by myself because I believe that everything I'm doing without, you know, asking any financial support is going to benefit me more, because I won't, at the end of the day, I won't owe nobody no money. Then that's how it is. All right. So enough of that. I will just rely on your compassion and your support, and I want to see them likes numbers go up. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's jump straight to today's live stream. Okay. So the title speaks for itself. What is the true cost of starting a farm in Africa or in the Democratic Republic of Congo? Well, to answer that question, there are multiple layers that we need to look at. Number one, what is it that you are planning to do? You're planning to start a farm for commercial purposes, or you're planning to start a farm for self-sufficiency? So the moment you answer those questions for yourself, you will probably know where you stand. Okay, so let's start with someone who's planning on starting a farm for self-sufficiency, or to be able to consume the products that are growing on the farm, and the animals that are being raised in there, and so forth. Someone like that, they don't need a huge amount of money, like a high. You don't need a lot of money to start a farm for self-sufficiency purposes, and the amount of land you need to start a self-sufficiency farm, it's very, very small. The number should not be higher, okay? Because number one, I'm gonna give you my own personal example to kind of give you an idea of why you will probably need, because I can't actually tell you the exact amount of land that you will need to start a self-sufficiency farm for your own system, to be able to live sustainably and things like that. Number one, first of all, when I started, because I raised chickens growing up. When I was in middle school, I started raising chickens in my parents' backyard. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, and I would really appreciate it. It's more than 30 people in the chat, but the likes is still not coming up, guys. So do me a favor, hit the like button, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So in my father's backyard, I was able to raise chicken. Okay, I raised chickens in my parents' backyard, and it did fantastically great. I started selling chickens. Back then, it was $5 a piece, depending how big they grew, right? Because I can't just sell chicks, but I made sure when chicken grew, after a couple of weeks, then I started selling them, and it worked out pretty well. It was the structures were very well maintained. People really started reaching out to me whenever they needed chicken, so I was able to do it from my parents' backyard. So in other words, starting a self-sufficiency farm in Africa or in Congo, you don't need like a huge amount of land. You could do it in your backyard, okay? Because a lot of people need some sort of hobby that keeps them busy. They just want to see animals around them. They want to feed animal. They want to wake up to the sound of animal every morning. So for that purpose, you don't need a huge amount of money. You can do it from your backyard, okay? But that also depends on the livestock that you are raising. For instance, if you're raising pigs, I know there are ways nowadays where you could raise pigs without smell, okay? But naturally, we know in most places where pigs are being raised, there is some sort of smell that neighbors will have to deal with. Therefore, a lot of people, they raise animals like cows and pigs in a bigger farm, okay, in a bigger land, in a rural area, far away from residential areas, right? Well, with chicken, it's not going to be as much, but in order for you to be able to run a non-smell pig farm, it's time consuming, because of the products that will go into it, the things that you will have to do on a daily basis to make sure you keep the structure smell free. So not everybody is cut out for it. Not everybody's able to do it, right? So that those are the things that you got to keep in mind if you're trying to do something like that. So again, it's not going to require you a huge capital to start a small farm for, to be for self-sufficiency, to, for a sustainable farm and things like that. So that's the thing you got to keep in mind. As far as the true cost, it the cost will probably depend upon the contractor you have hired to build the structure for your livestock that you want to put in the backyard, if you don't want to purchase a land. But if you feel like, yeah, I just want to have a place to drive to, or to commute to back and forth for my small farm project, I just want to acquire a piece of land, I would recommend at least either I will recommend 1 hectare. 1 hectare should be enough, or maybe half an hectare. So half of that should be enough to help you, to start your small farm without, stressing yourself out over a lot of things. It's going to not cost you a lot of money to clear the land and start your project or whatever it is. But as far as I'm concerned, I shouldn't, I don't see why you would want to buy a land if you're only trying to farm at a smaller scale just for your self-sufficiency. That's how I see it. I look at it. And another thing that I forgot to mention, using my family example here, in one of my parents' properties, we actually lived in our property years before we moved to where I grew up before I came to the U.S. Right, that property, it was so massive. Not only like in the backyard, we had a huge gardens. Within that gardens, we have many vegetables that we consume in Congo, including matembele, ndunda, pondu, ngai ngai, shudeshin, and many more, including tomatoes and cucumber and many things, and green peppers. So it worked out really well. And like, if you needed some sort of vegetables to consume for dinner, right, you didn't even have to go to the supermarket for it, or to a local market. You could just go to the backyard and you harvest, dinner is served. Okay, so that's just giving you an idea that you could do this from your backyard if you're not trying to like go above and beyond to spend a lot more money just because you're trying to start a sustainable farm for self-sufficiency. You understand what I'm saying? So hey guys, come on, man, it's been 13 minutes, almost 15 minutes so far, more than 30 people in the chat. Nobody has, a single person has hit the like button, but y'all still watching anyway. So that tells me you're interested in what you were listening to, right? I'm not asking you for money. Let me say that one more time. I ain't asking you for no money. That's not in my nature. Even when I'm broke, I keep it to myself. I don't tell nobody. And I'm not about to do that on YouTube. Without refuse, if you make a donation or you bless me with a super chat, absolutely not. But what I'm asking you to do is to do me a favor for the YouTube algorithm, to push the video to a broader audience, hit the like button. And that's how we support each other. You guys know, when you reach out to me, at least those that have reached out to me, they know how important and how, I don't even, like, a lot of people, you will go to them, right? You reach out to them, you ask them questions about the things that they're doing because they want to do the same thing you're doing. Some people, they want to charge you money. Oh, you got to pay for consultation. I don't do none of that crap. I think it's a scam. Why would I want to charge a feller African or Congolese for a piece of information that's going to help them do exactly what I'm doing and that's going to increase and probably expose us more. That's how we help each other, right? When I'm charging people for consultation, I'm making it a lot harder for them to actually get where they want to get or reach their goal. You understand what I'm saying? So we're just using each other. I'm not that type of person. Okay? All right. I'm not going to say it any longer. If you want to stick around, cool. If not, that's all right. So I'm going to depend on those that always, come back to support me regardless. But I think I've said it enough, and I'm just going to move on. All right. So, okay, let's get back to the video. Here's the thing. Oh, some of you can bounce. If you don't like what I have to say, y'all can bounce. Because a lot of people, they like when people are, bowing in front of them, asking them for money. I'm not that type of person. I'm my own man. I make my own money. I take care of my own business. I build my farm. I'm building the things that I'm building with the money coming straight out of my own pockets, for the efforts that I put in where I work. It's point blank, as simple as that. You're not gonna see me here begging for money, and that's not gonna happen. My parents didn't raise me like that, and I'm not gonna bring that culture on YouTube either. You understand what I'm saying? If you bless me with a super chat, with a super tank or whatever it is, I'm going to, genuinely and kindly accept it, right? And I'm gonna thank you for it. But I'm not gonna sit up here asking for none of that stuff, all right? That ain't me. Let me just make that clear. Thank you very much. So let me just get back to the video, all right? Because if I keep going off, I might start saying things that are unpleasant and some people may not like it, all right? So let's just skip it there. All right, guys. So now as far as, starting a farm for commercial purpose, then I would recommend that you purchase your first piece of land. Why it is important to purchase a land to start a commercial farm? For multiple reasons. You will increase the amount of profits that you will be making in the future when things turn out good. That's number one, because you're not renting from somebody else, okay? Because when you're renting from someone, you have to pay them, and that rent money could help build something, or could help, you do something else on the top of it. What kind of money are we talking about here? Starting a business or starting a farm in Africa, or specifically in Congo, for diasporans, it doesn't really cost you anything. It doesn't cost you a lot of money like that, okay? When I bought a land, I have 15 acres altogether. It cost me less than $3,000 to acquire the lands that I farm in. Just get an idea. Now it's a little more expensive than that, because we're talking about this was, I bought this. This was back in 2016, I think. That's when I bought this. So you guys getting an idea how much money you will need. Even now, when the acre is going for $1,000 or $1,200, depending on the location, it's still reasonable. But keep in mind that cost, that price will gradually increase over the years. So if that is something that you are still considering to do, I would advise that you get into it as quickly as possible, because it's not going to depreciate. The value will always continue to grow. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. So back to the subject. So you need to buy your first land, and then you'll have to look for a local contractor to build something within it. You don't always have to start big, okay? At some point, I still think that even the pig barn that I built, it's reasonable, right? Capacity of 100 or more pigs to start with. I'm not going to start right away, right off the bat with 100 pigs, but I'm going to start with a certain amount. and then they'll let them multiply. And eventually we'll see how things, where it leads us. But on the top of it, there are a multitude of projects that I am working on that I will bring on the farm eventually. And when that time comes, then we will see what the future has for us. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing though is, with, I would say, again, depending on what you're planning to build or how big you want your farm to be, and the money will vary based upon those things in particular. You understand what I'm saying? So, for the most part, especially us Africans, from the diaspora who are, planning on starting a farm in Africa or specifically in Congo, I always advise people to go down there, check it out, get a feel for it before you start your investment. Don't get all excited because you have the money. You want to go pour the money into build a massive, pig barn, or, a chicken coop for poultry farming or whatnot, and not getting anything back from it. Okay. Go there, start with an amount that even if things end up not working out, you won't regret as much as you would if you had poured a lot more money into it. Because the purpose of starting small is it gives you an idea of what to expect. Okay? When you start things small, you kind of grow with it, along with the process. You are learning from the mistakes that you are making gradually, and then eventually okay, with the way things are moving, I think I want to stick with this. I think I can do this. Okay. And then the cost of your commercial farm will depend on how your ambitions develop. The bigger your ambitions develop, the better it will be for you. I mean, the more money it will cost you to, accomplishing your objective. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very, very difficult to set a certain amount and say, okay, you need this much money to build a farm. Because in Africa, a lot of people don't plan financially like that. They wouldn't be able to tell you, oh, this is how much money you need, to start this. You create your own vision, and from that, you consult with people, you talk to them, and they will give you an idea of what you will potentially be looking at in terms of expenses and finances. And from there, you get to decide, okay, what it is that I want to do based upon my, goals. And then you will move, you go, you will move from there. So it's very, very, delicate. I mean, it's very difficult to tell those numbers because, like me, I don't even know, I have an idea how much I have spent so far between building the pig barn and, building the house that I just built and the maintenance of the farm. So I might have an idea since the time I purchased and the investment that I have made, but that's not the end of it though. I'm still going to continue to bring more projects, like the poultry farming is the next one, and so forth. Then maybe when it comes times when I said, okay, I think I'm good, I'm not going to do anything anymore, that's when I will be able to tell people, okay, this is how much money you need if you want something like this. But even then, it will still be difficult because keep in mind, our ambition continue to grow bigger the more successful you are. And I know I can feel it that my farm or my projects is only going to succeed because of the time, energy, and determination that I have to make this work. Guys, keep in mind, you have to protect what belongs to you, what's yours. I know what I want for myself. And I do know for a fact that I don't want to stay here in America working to death till I get buried, right? I want to be able to invest as much money as possible, so when I move back to Africa or to Congo, I am able to enjoy the things that I have spent money on, where I could be there and say, hey, with what I have going on over here, I can make it work. You understand what I'm saying? So that also, it's a part of your ambition. So some of us may just want to farm from distance. That's kind of like what I'm doing now, because I'm not in a position to move to Africa, to move back to Congo yet. So I'm traveling there back and forth as much as I can to, keep an eye on things, even while having people on the ground, managing things for me. But it's also imperative that I take those trips to make sure that things are running smoothly, to create a deterrence among my team. They know that, okay, this guy comes more often, so we need to get it together. That's kind of what a lot of people should be doing. You can't just trust people and just sit up here and expect everything is going to be fine. No, you also have to show the sacrifice, because if you're spending money, you want to see where your money is going, correct? That's how I feel. So I don't care what anybody else will say. That's me. I do it, and I will continue to do it. If it means that it'll take a couple of more weeks off from my job without pay, I'm okay with it, as long as they allow me. But I know what I'm doing, and I'm just not gonna sit up here and expect things to fall from the sky just because I've already done my parts. No, what I have done is not nearly enough compared to what my goals are. Okay, and speaking of goals, we have to be able to set goals to a certain extent where okay, I'm working this much because my ambition is to reach these goals. Because if you just don't have no goals in life, how much you work, it's also going to determine that. Okay, people that don't have goals, they don't care. I mean, I'm just going to work and make whatever I make, and it's enough for me. I'll buy groceries, I'll pay rent, I live paycheck to paycheck, and that's the end of it. Cool, problem solved. But that's not how everybody else's thing. Like me, I already make decent amount of money, but when they offer me overtime, guys, I jump right on it. I don't play around with overtime. I'll jump right on it. I'll work OT, because I know the extra couple of $100 that's going to show up on my pay stub is going to help me, for instance, to build a roof. You know what I mean? Or it's going to help me to do the land clearing. It's going to help me to buy animals feed. It's going to help me to do something within the projects that I'm already working on. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of mindset that I have developed. So I'm doing everything for a purpose. If I'm making more money, I'm making more money because I want to be able to continue to build and do something better that hasn't been done yet. So that is the purpose right there. So to conclude this live stream, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you have to be able to determine what it is that you want to do. Are you trying to farm on a commercial level? Do you have the money needed to start this massive project of yours? Or you're just planning on, running a sustainable farm for self-sufficiency? So once you answer those questions, I think you would get an idea of how much money you will be willing to spend. Because some people, they may start farming from the backyard because, they want a sustainable farm and, and raise animals for personal consumptions, right? For self-sufficiency. But then they see how things are going, your ambitions might change. Okay, you may be like, oh snap! I think if I do it at a commercial level, I'll be okay. You understand what I'm saying? And your ambition may grow from there. But if originally that's not your ambition, I would highly recommend that you keep it in the backyard rather than purchasing the land, right? But if you're planning on doing it from a commercial level, You don't always have to acquire a massive amount of land, because people seeing how cheap you can get these, acres of land in Africa, they want to go and purchase it all. But when it comes time to start the investment, and you find yourself in a position of weakness financially, where you're unable to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish because the land is so massive that you're unable to afford it or to even maintain it, because maintenance is really, really big, right? I made a video where I talked about how much money I have spent so far on land clearing, and it's cost me a lot, and it's still continuing to cost me more money. So I'm coming up with different ways to approach this issue, so that it doesn't end up affecting me in the long run. But keep in mind, I only had owned 15 acres, but I got people who own hundreds of acres, and I don't even know how they manage all of that. What I'm saying? Probably gradually, as I farm the areas that are already cleared, maybe the more we expand, we will just keep clearing until we occupy the entirety of the land. I guess maybe that's what's going to end up happening, but don't quote me on that, but we'll see what the future holds, all right? So, okay, on that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope by the time I end this live stream, you'll be able to hit that like button. If not, that's cool. I will still make videos regardless of whether you want to help out or not. I know there are still people with good faith out there that want this channel to grow, that will do the things that I'm asking them to do to help out for this channel to go forward. This is not for me. It's not for you either, but it's for all of us. Okay, we can share ideas with one another using this platform, but we're only going to do it through your supports, the kind of supports that don't require any money, that just require goodwill. You just use your thumb, or your nose picker, this you pick your nose with, you smash that like button. That's all I'm asking you to do. Peace out. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.